There comes a moment in every life where silence breaks, and something deep within whispers, "This is it." That moment is now. Your life is not about to change, it is changing. The ground beneath your old story is shaking, and your new world is already forming. You may not see it with your eyes just yet, but feel it. Something within you is shifting. The old self, the old limits, the old fears are crumbling because your inner world has made a new decision. It is time to win. You were never born to chase, you were born to create. Not with effort, but with knowing. And the greatest power you possess is your ability to imagine, not as a daydreamer, but as a deliberate architect of your reality. So close your eyes and feel it. The success, the abundance, the love, the peace. Not one day, not someday, now. Assume it fully, live in it inwardly, think from it, not toward it. Because once you assume the state of the fulfilled desire, everything else becomes irrelevant. The facts of life must bow to the law of your consciousness. You are not hoping anymore. You are not wishing. You are being. And that's the secret. When you become the version of yourself who already has it, your world bends to that decision. Reality is not outside in, it is inside out. The world is only showing you your reflection. So be bold in your inner conversations. No more rehearsing failure. No more repeating lack. Let your mind speak only of victory. Let your inner voice carry the sound of fulfillment, because every word you say to yourself in the silence of your own heart is a seed, and you're planting a garden of miracles. You don't need to strive. You don't need to struggle. The bridge to your desire is already built. Just walk in the direction of your assumption. Trust the invisible path. Know that the unseen is more real than what your eyes currently show you. Faith is not wishful thinking. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. It is knowing in advance. You're not begging. You're not negotiating. You're accepting. You're stepping into it with full authority. This is your season, not by accident, not by force, but by inner decision. Your life is about to change because you have changed. You have remembered who you are. You have remembered that the world responds to your inner identity, not your outer struggle. So don't prepare to win. Start living like you've already won. Because the truth is, you have. Your imagination is not a fantasy. It is the silent force that sculpts your entire experience of life. Every condition you've ever faced, every so-called coincidence, every twist in your journey, it all begins in the unseen world within you. Long before it takes shape in the outer world, it is alive and real in the imagination. You have been conditioned to believe that the outer world is the cause and you are the effect. But in truth, it is reversed. The world you see is the echo of what you have felt and imagined. You are not here to merely observe life. You are here to shape it. You are the architect. And the tools are invisible: your thoughts, your emotions, your inner pictures, your assumptions. All of these form the blueprint of your reality, and the world without fail builds itself around the image you persistently hold. You do not manifest what you want, you manifest what you believe to be true in your inner world over and over again. And belief is nothing more than repeated imagination, accepted as fact. Look around at your life. Every circumstance, whether you welcome it or resist it, was first imagined. Perhaps not consciously, perhaps you were unaware, but at some level it was allowed to take form within. The world does not create you. You create the world, starting from the inside. The mind is a projector, not a camera. It does not record life, it casts it forward. There is no limitation outside the one you accept within. There is no poverty, no heartbreak, no delay, except the one you have rehearsed in your imagination. If you have suffered long, it is not because you are undeserving, it is because you have unknowingly built a temple to that suffering in the quiet chambers of your mind. But that can change today. Because imagination is not just reactive, it is creative, it is divine. When you persist in imagining a new reality, not once, not twice, but daily, with feeling, the world cannot help but rearrange itself. It has no power to resist your persistent inner state. You may not know how the change will come. You don't need to. Your job is not to figure out the mechanics. Your job is to feel the result. To live as though it is already yours. To dwell in the end, rather than worry about the process. That is the secret. And the world will follow. Not maybe, not eventually, always. If you imagine limitation, you will live within walls. If you imagine freedom, life will open up. If you imagine being loved, love will find you. You do not need permission. You do not need conditions. You only need a decision, a quiet, powerful choice to imagine a better reality and to persist in it, no matter what the senses report. The world is malleable. It bends to the image you hold with faith. So the real question is never, can I have it? The real question is, can I imagine it long enough, deeply enough, and faithfully enough that it becomes real to me? Because once it becomes real within you, it must become real outside of you. That is the law. That is the power. That is who you are. Desire alone is not enough. Hoping is not enough. Wishing is not enough. The secret lies in the assumption, the quiet inner acceptance that what you long for is already yours. This is not about convincing the world. This is about convincing yourself. The moment you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, something begins to shift, not outside of you, but within. And that inner shift is the beginning of all creation. You are not waiting for something to happen. You are not standing on the outside looking in. You are entering the state now, not later, not when circumstances change, not when you're more worthy or more ready, now. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to bypass doubt and logic. It is to close your eyes to the current facts and open them to the unseen truth. What you feel, you begin to create, and what you remain faithful to in feeling, you give birth to in form. This isn't a game of pretense. It's not about pretending to have something you don't. It's about becoming the version of yourself who already has it, in your mind, in your emotion, in your energy. That is the only reality that matters. Because the outer world is a shadow, it must follow the shape of the inner state. Once the state is changed, the shadow must change with it. So what do you desire? Peace, wealth, love, success? Close your eyes and go there now. Do not ask for it. Assume it. Assume it. Step into the experience. Feel the relief, the joy, the gratitude as though it were already complete. The body doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. When you flood it with the emotions of your fulfilled desire, it responds, the vibration changes, the energy field shifts, and the universe begins to rearrange itself to reflect that assumption. There is no need to force anything. There is no struggle involved. The assumption is effortless because it is internal. You do not make anything happen. You allow it to be so. The moment you become it, everything unlike it begins to dissolve. People change. Circumstances realign. Opportunities appear. Not because you chased them, but because you drew them in by being the version of yourself who already possesses the outcome. The key is persistence. Not in doing, but in dwelling. Continue to return to that state. When doubt knocks, go back to the feeling. When fear arises, breathe deeper into the assumption. You are not the person who is trying anymore. You are the person who is being. You have stepped over the line and you do not look back. Do not worry about the timing. Do not search for signs. Your only responsibility is to maintain the inner state. The bridge of incidents will unfold naturally, drawing you closer and closer until the invisible becomes visible, until the imagined becomes your lived experience. Assume it now, not tomorrow, not when the world approves, not when everything aligns. Now. Because the moment you do, you activate the power that has always been within you. The assumption is the seed, the feeling is the water, and reality is simply the harvest. You are not attracting what you want, you are attracting what you are. This is the truth that many overlook in their pursuit of change. You do not draw things into your life by effort or force, but by the silent, powerful state of being you occupy. Your state of being is the magnet. It either pulls in your desires or repels them. And this magnet does not respond to words or wishes, it responds to consciousness. What are you conscious of being right now? Not what are you saying, not what are you hoping, but what are you being? That answer determines what flows into your life. You can speak of wealth, but if you feel poor, the magnet is lack. You can talk about love, but if you feel unworthy, the magnet is rejection. The world listens not to your words, but to your energy, and your energy is shaped by your state. Trying is not the path. Trying suggests you are separate from what you desire. It implies effort, struggle, and lack. Being, however, is effortless. Being is alignment. It is the quiet knowing that you already are what you once sought. And in that state, everything that matches must come. This is why results seem so inconsistent for those who try to manifest through action alone. They visualize, they affirm, they script, yet nothing shifts. Why? Because the state remains the same. Until the state is transformed, the circumstances cannot change. Action taken from a state of lack only recreates more lack. But when you act from fullness, from wholeness, from the identity of already having, the world cannot help but reflect it. Your dominant state is your true affirmation. You affirm through how you feel, what you dwell on, what you accept as real. There is no escaping this law. Every day you are magnetizing your life, not by force, but by frequency. And frequency is born from identity. You must become it, not by pretending, but by inwardly shifting your awareness to the version of you who already lives it. When you do this, the need to chase vanishes. You stop looking outward for validation. You stop asking, when will it happen? Because you know it already has, in you. The physical must catch up, but it's secondary. You've already claimed it in your being. And this silent claim is more powerful than 1,000 efforts. So ask yourself, what would it feel like to already be that person? The one who has the love, the money, the health, the peace. Go there now. Live in that state. Breathe from it. Walk through the world with that knowing. Not arrogance, certainty. There's a difference. One is noise, the other is power. Life is not reacting to what you want, it's responding to what you are. Shift the state and the magnet shifts. It's not about fixing the outer, it's about transforming the inner. And the moment you do, you'll see how effortlessly the external begins to reflect the new vibration you have become. You don't attract from force, you attract from being. You are not here to wait for change, you are here to be the change. The moment you understand this, everything around you begins to move, not because something outside of you decided to shift, but because you did. The world cannot resist the authority of a mind that knows who it is. The instant you identify with a new reality, the old one loses its power. It fades, not because you fought it, but because you outgrew it. This is not a process of delay. This is not about waiting for signs or watching the clock. It is about inner recognition, the quiet, unshakable claim that I am now the version of myself that has it. You are not becoming this version, you are being it. And that beingness is what dissolves time. The change you long for doesn't come with struggle, it comes with alignment. You don't have to force life to respond. You simply need to match it in consciousness and it will mirror your decision. Most people stand still, hoping something will shift, the money will come, the relationship will appear, the opportunity will knock. But reality doesn't respond to hope. It responds to identity. As long as you identify with the lack of what you want, you stay in the loop of waiting. But when you step into the state of already having, the waiting ends. You are no longer asking for change. The key is this. Reality is not static. It is fluid. It bends to your perception, your assumptions, your self-concept. The old version of you, the one who doubted, who lacked, who waited, begins to vanish the moment you no longer recognize it as you. You stop feeding it with thought. You stop energizing it with belief. And slowly, then suddenly, the world conforms to your new self. This doesn't mean the physical shifts overnight, though sometimes it does. It means you no longer need it to, because your inner state has already crossed over. The feeling of the result is already alive in you. And from this place, patience is no longer about delay, it is about confidence. You're not wondering if it will happen. You know it already has. You're simply watching the echoes catch up. You don't wait for permission to live the new life. You give yourself permission. You step into it with calm certainty, and you allow the world to rearrange around your new vibration. This is not arrogance. It is spiritual maturity, the deep understanding that creation begins and ends within. If you truly understood the power of your awareness, you would stop looking outside for proof. You'd stop needing the old world to confirm what you've already decided. Because the moment you become it inside, the outside must align. You are not a victim of the old story. You are the author of the new one. So stop waiting, stop hoping, stop asking when, and start being, start embodying, start living as if your future is already here. Because in truth, it is. You are not waiting for the change. You are the change. Every word you speak within yourself is a seed, and your world is the garden where it takes root. The outer world is not random, not separate, and certainly not in control. It is a mirror, a faithful, unwavering reflection of the conversations you hold in the silence of your own mind. What you consistently say to yourself, whether gently or harshly, whether filled with faith or fear, shapes the very atmosphere around you. You don't need to speak your desires aloud for them to take form. In fact, what you whisper to yourself in secret carries far more power. That inner dialogue, the silent self-talk, is creating your reality moment by moment. The truth is you are always in a conversation with yourself, whether you're conscious of it or not. And that conversation is programming your life. If you constantly rehearse lack, doubt, or unworthiness within, the world will act it out for you like a script. You'll meet people who confirm your fears. You'll attract situations that echo your limiting beliefs. Life becomes a reflection of what you keep affirming in private. But the moment you change the inner dialogue, the script changes. Speak to yourself as one who already has what they desire. Affirm your worth. Feel the joy of already receiving. Talk to yourself as if everything is unfolding perfectly, because it is. When your inner tone shifts, the world has no choice, it must align. You may ask, how can changing mere thoughts change my life? Because thought is not mere. It is the foundation of all creation. The inner voice is the command center. It is not a passive background noise. It is a powerful instruction to the universe. What you consistently feel and repeat in your inner conversations becomes the mold into which life must pour itself. So become conscious of your mental dialogue. Don't allow it to run wild. Guide it gently, consistently, with love and authority. Replace "I never get what I want" with "everything is working for me." Replace "I'm not good enough" with "I am chosen, I am worthy, I am ready." You're not lying to yourself. You're telling a better truth. The truth of who you really are beneath the old conditioning. This practice is not about forcing yourself to think positively in every moment. It's about persistence. It's about choosing again and again to direct your thoughts, even if they drift. The world doesn't respond to the occasional thought. It responds to the dominant tone of your inner conversations. And as those conversations elevate, you'll see the world soften. People will treat you differently, opportunities will appear, circumstances will seem to rearrange with no logical explanation. That is the mirror adjusting to your new identity. It cannot do otherwise. Your outer world is your reflection, not your fate. You are not a prisoner of your past. You are the author of your inner dialogue, and therefore the author of your future. Speak life, speak truth, speak from the end, and watch the world conform to your inner script. Change your inner talk, and you change your entire life. The mirror is listening. Faith is not a desperate hope, nor is it a blind leap into the unknown. It is the quiet confidence, the unwavering conviction that what you have imagined is already so. True faith is not passive. It does not wait for permission. It creates. It sees the invisible and dares to call it real. It holds to the unseen as if it were already seen, and in doing so, it pulls the unseen into form. This kind of faith is not wishful thinking. It does not beg or plead or wonder. It knows. And because it knows, it does not require proof. It moves forward without needing the five senses to confirm its truth. Faith lives beyond the senses. It resides in the heart, in the still knowing place within you where reality is first born. To walk in faith is to live from the end. It is to act, feel, and think as though the desire were already fulfilled. You do not wait for the world to shift before you claim your blessing. You claim it now, not with force, but with certainty. Faith does not say one day it will come. Faith says it is mine now. That inner claim, that bold assumption, is the act of creation itself. People often confuse faith with belief. But belief can still waver. Belief can question. Faith is firm. Faith does not need reassurance because it lives in the state of fulfillment. It is not hoping something might happen. It is creating from the truth that it already has. And this faith, once held consistently, reshapes everything around you. You may not see it immediately. The world may still show signs of the old reality. But faith does not flinch. It doesn't ask, why is nothing changing? It rests in the assurance that change has already occurred within. And because it has changed inside, it must change outside. Faith is the builder of bridges, unseen paths that connect imagination to manifestation. You may not know how things will unfold, and you don't need to. The how is not your concern. Your only task is to dwell in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, to remain faithful to the outcome regardless of appearances. The universe takes care of the rest. It is this kind of unwavering inner stance that causes the world to bend. It is this creative faith, not struggle, not repetition, not fear, that moves mountains. And when it moves them effortlessly. You do not need to force anything into place. You only need to remain in the vibration of already having. Let your imagination be the canvas. and your faith the paintbrush. As you hold the picture with feeling and certainty, life begins to shape itself around your inner world. This is not fantasy, this is law. What you accept as true within, the outer must reflect. So do not let fear speak louder than faith. Do not let circumstances determine your identity. Anchor yourself in the reality of your fulfilled desire. Hold it, feel it, know it, and as you do, understand this truth. You are not just believing in something to come, you are creating it now by faith. Your life is not waiting to change. It is already responding to who you are being in this very moment. You hold the creative power not in effort, not in struggle, but in imagination, assumption, and faith. When you change your inner state, when you feel as though your desire is already fulfilled, when you guide your inner conversations, and when you boldly live from the end, the world must reflect it. There is no delay in divine law. The moment you shift within, the old dissolves and the new begins to unfold. You are not the seeker, you are the creator. You are not meant to wait for the light, you are the light. Everything you've asked for, everything you've imagined is already yours the moment you claim it in consciousness. Live as though it's done, because it is. Sincerely, thank you for opening your heart and mind to this truth. May you walk forward, not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. Everything is already yours.